Oh, well, that was interesting.
Okay.
I forgot that it left that fast. It's like, I was like, oh,
Surprise.
okay,
The show has
surprise, we're here,
started.
yay! The show.
Yay.
Oh, look at this. We already have our first comment. What's up, Gabe? How's it going? He is a friend of the show. He's been on our show before, and he actually has his own stream going. Um,
Nice.
so that's fun.
Hi, Gabe.
Um, if you'll notice, we're shorthanded one, but we have a sub for one, and the other one says he's on his way. But we'll believe that when we see that. So, but let's. Gabe just finished his own stream. Sorry, I did not get to see it. I'm really bad at watching other people's streams. Just bad. I'm so bad. I'm not a team player.
Unacceptable.
I'm not a team player. I sincerely apologize, and I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm not a team player when it comes to watching other people's streams. So that's why I don't get mad when people don't watch my show, because I'm like, well, I don't really watch yours, so I guess it's only turns out it's only fair play, I guess.
Are you saying that you've never once listened to my podcast? Is that what you're
Um,
saying?
Not never, maybe just once though.
Nice. It counts. It counts.
Right? Just once, just once, just
Uh,
once. Well, Cynthia, tell them. Speaking of your show, tell our viewers about your show and what you do and why.
sure. Oh, well, the why is easy. I like to be scared and I like to scare. So, my name is Cynthia Sear. I am a horror author, and I have a podcast called True Hauntings and Scary Stories. And we either talk about spooky things or I read short horror stories that I have written. And I don't know, I published a book a couple years back called Parade of Nightmares.
I got it. I have it finally.
You did
You know,
finally get it.
yeah. You know, after you pay for it, you actually will receive it. So, but I could have swore I paid for it that night. Like when you were a guest on our show,
Hmm.
I was like, I'm buying it right now. I could have swore that I did it,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, I
You
guess not.
you said you were gonna, and then I thought, well, maybe he just changed his mind. It's no big deal. Like I didn't want to bug you about it, so I just never said anything.
I
And
felt
then I
so bad
forgot
because
about it.
yeah, and then the other two got their books, and I was like, what the crap? I ordered mine like that night,
Yeah.
and
Then you
so
were
I
on
was
this show talking about, oh, she never sent me mine. And I was like, wait, hold the phones.
exactly. Yeah, I was like, wait, how come she
Uh,
never sent mine? And then you come to find out, it was never actually ordered. So
yeah. We figured it out though. We figured
we
it
did
out.
figure it out, and I actually did pay for it the second time.
Yeah.
The second time around, I did pay for it, and then I actually received it. So I guess that's how it works, right? You pay for something, and then you get it.
Yeah,
It's
just
crazy.
yeah, it's a
So
thing.
your group is called True Hauntings, and I will tell
Yeah.
you that it's a fun group to be a part of. Do you want me to post it in the comments, Cynthia?
You can if you would like, sure.
I will post it in the comments for people to join. If you like that scary type of stuff,
Yeah.
eh, yeah, so that would be the group to go to. I'm not a big fan of scary. Just, I'm not a big fan of scary. I
I'm
don't know
sorry,
why.
man. We can't be
Uh,
friends.
yeah, I'm like a big weenie when it comes to scary stuff. People are like, so I just barely started writing like roller coasters and stuff like that. I
Oh
didn't watch
my.
I didn't watch a lot of horror movies growing up. I think the scariest show that I ever watched was Christine. Do you remember that
Okay.
one?
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
a Stephen King novel, and it's about a haunted car,
Hmm.
and so that's probably as scary as I got. All the other stuff I wouldn't watch. So
I want
it
to
was.
say I was probably like 7 or 8 watching Freddy Krueger, you know,
I would
Jason, Michael
watch
Myers, all that stuff.
I would watch part of it, and then I'd be like, okay, this is, nah, I'm out.
I
I'm
can't
out.
handle
Peace
it.
out.
No, no, no.
Yeah, I can't. Speaking of Michael Myers, isn't Halloween is the Halloween ending or something, whatever it's called? It's
Yeah.
about this. to happen this month. Is that right?
I saw that. I think I will watch that one. I'm not a huge fan of slasher films anymore. So I haven't seen all the Michael Myers movies, all the Halloween movies, but I do think I want to see that one. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, just to wrap it all up,
Right, just to put it in its nice little package and things.
I heard that Jamie Lee Curtis actually put in her contract that she will not do another of these movies, just so that they knew this really is the last one she's done.
She's like, no, this is it. This is all we're doing.
It really does end.
No more. Okay, let's go through a couple of comments here. Gabe, I don't know where he's at. I don't know. He's a slacker, and he's probably like cooking or baking something. So who knows? And then we have Joanne. Hello, Miss Joanne.
Hello.
And then we can start the show. Anita's here. Oh!
Look at who it is.
I was just waiting for you to get here, Anita. Okay, I had to wait. You can keep going through the comments, Joe. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. And then Anita said she's not a fan of scary either.
Yep.
But she is a Dallas Cowboys fan, so that's kind of scary. So there's that. And then Kat
Kat Johnson is my co-host.
Hey, Kat. I was like,
awesome.
Cynthia, I was waving at her like she recognized me, but I was thinking, wait a minute, we haven't met actually. I've seen her more than I've seen her 100%. She's seen me 0%. So, hi, Kat. Good to meet.
So this random person that's waving at you is.
Yeah.
That's a strange man right there.
I've been called worse things, so I'm okay with that.
I love how she comments and she plugs my show. She's like, hey, come watch a movie with us this Saturday night.
I saw that actually.
She's
and you know
better
what?
at
I wanted to
plugging my
watch
show.
it with y'all.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite scary movies. One of the few scary movies that I'll actually watch.
What? The one we watched last week, Hush?
No, Mist.
Or is it this? Oh, The Mist. That's right. The Mist.
Yeah.
That was a good one. It was good. Yeah.
So let me tell you, Stephen King is one of my all-time favorite horror authors, right? And so a lot of his movies that get transitioned, or a lot of his stories that get transitioned to movies, I'm always a big fan of. But the one thing I cannot stand about Stephen King movies are the endings. They're absolutely terrible. They're horrible. They're ridiculous. He even admits it. He talks frequently. He's like, yeah, I just have a rough time when it comes to the end. I don't know what I'm doing at that point when it transitions to movies. And if you read the book, so the ending in the book, vastly different from the ending of the movie. The movie was gut-wrenching.
I gotta the end of the Mist was brutal.
But the book, nothing like that.
Really?
Nothing. Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, the best book to movie that I've ever seen anywhere was one that was released on Netflix a couple years ago called Into the Tall Grass. Did y'all remember
I've seen that one.
The movie. This is one of those times where the movie was exponentially better than the book ever was. And I love Stephen King, and I've read most of his stories, all of them. And I was watching this thing, and I thought, oh, it's about to end. And then I remember pausing at one point. I was like, wait a minute. There's like 45 minutes left. I was like, but we're about to end it where the book ended. And then it just went overboard and not outer space, but I was just like, what the heck?
It did. It just
nice.
So this week, Cynthia, you guys are watching The Aftermath.
Yes, that is correct. I have not seen that movie, so I don't know.
Do you know
earthquake?
There's some synopsis about it, or
no? I think that one is about. Oh gosh, I think that one's about a couple who is getting divorced or something happens bad, so they move, and then the new house that they move into, I think, is haunted or something. So like they're dealing with the aftermath of whatever happened.
I'm out. I don't even pause. I just shut off and be like, "Where's the Care Bears?" That's what I need to watch.
Care Bears.
That's what I need. Darkheart scares me. Darkheart was the bad guy in Care Bears. I'm like, Darkheart scares me from the original stuff.
Scary.
Oh my.
The Mist, not to be confused with Sierra Mist. That's
okay.
And then Gabe says he's waiting for the Where's Waldo live action movie.
Okay. Well, on that, hold on. So if you didn't know,
I can't find them. So
if you didn't know, Winnie the Pooh went into the public domain this year, and there's a movie that's about to be released called. Actually, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a horror movie. And Piglet and Winnie the Pooh have left. I don't remember where their make-believe place is, right? But they've left in search of food, and they start going on a murder rampage, killing and eating people
No.
because
Oh my God.
they've eaten everyone else in their make-believe place.
Yeah.
So they've
What is
eaten
it called?
Al, Rue,
Christopher Robin.
all of
Yeah.
them, and Christopher
The
Robin
100
included.
Acre Woods, right?
100 Acre Woods, yes. And the
100
trailer
Acre.
looks absolutely gorific, and it's gross and it's messed up.
That's
So,
weird. That's weird.
But it's a thing.
But
and
listen, I could make Where's Waldo into a horror story easy. Where's Waldo is creepy anyway. So, I mean, I could totally see making that into a horror movie.
Wherever the bloody trail leads you.
Yeah.
That's where Waldo's at. Yeah, I can see
He's
that.
one guy you don't want to find.
he's like, don't find me, I'll find you.
Yeah, exactly. When Waldo searches for
Oh,
you.
Yeah.
Long-time follower, long-time watcher, first-time commenter. Sandy's watching us now.
Hey, Sandy.
Hey,
Yeah.
Missing
The
you.
Hungry Acre Woods.
Hungry
gosh,
Acre
there you
Woods.
go.
Oh, that's good. That's
Oh
good.
my gosh.
And Joanne says that's just wrong.
It really is.
Right.
Look it up.
I
If you have
agree.
an extra screen, or you can minimize this if you're watching YouTube, go look and you'll just see it's gross.
They left the 100 Acre Woods, and did they eat Kanga and Rue?
Yep. They ate everyone. It's just Piglet and Pooh are the only ones who survived. So, I mean, through the trailer is what it says.
Blood and honey.
There you go.
Blood and
Thanks,
honey.
Yep.
I thought that was a joke. I saw that online and I thought, oh, they spoofed it. That's funny.
No.
I didn't think it was a
Wow.
real
And it's
movie.
all because everything went to the public domain. So basically, it's not limited to just Disney's version of
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh anymore.
That's
Anyone can do anything with it.
hilarious.
Wow.
It's my
Sandy
pleasure,
says thanks for
Sandy.
filling in.
It's my pleasure.
And then Chone says hello, Sandy. He doesn't say hi to
He
us.
doesn't say anything to us.
But he gives us an angry face.
Forget us.
So
Forget us.
Chone,
Can I show y'all some stuff?
once I figure out how to block you, you are totally blocked.
Okay, I want to show some comics off real quick.
Oh, wait,
Look.
and hi CPJ.
Hi, CPJ. All right, so check this out. I found one of the grails of comic books. Okay, now look, you'll see. This isn't it, but just you don't need to know the character or anything. But I just want you to look at the placement of what it looks like. There's someone in the middle right there, right? I didn't realize I started collecting comic books that have this. This is called an homage cover, right? There's an original artist that drew this for Spider-Man, and then people have just been redrawing it throughout the decades, similar to that. Okay. And then that one. So you see the theme, right? The circle. Well, I found one that I was able to get for very low. And then I was like, dude, what's the catch with this book? The original book that these are all based off of. And he was like, well, it's the Mexico version. And I was like, dude, that's perfect for me. I was like, I don't give a squat. I just want the art because the art's still legitimate. It's still an original art piece from the artist, Todd McFarlane, who's one of my favorite artists. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll take that for $40. I was like, I don't give a squat. I'm happy with that. And so it hasn't gotten here yet, but it'll get here this week. I was looking at the shipping. But I'm really excited about that. And I also won.
He
this.
won. Oh,
Nice.
Spawn number 1.
Spawn issue 1. And it's been graded. So this is cool because this increases the value of the book that's in there. But Todd McFarlane is doing a signature signing at this company, which is CGC. So I'm going to send this book in. So they'll crack it open, have him sign it, and then send it back to me, which would be really awesome.
Will
Nice.
increase its value exponentially.
Yeah. So Spawn is one of the few comic books that normally a comic book will depreciate value over time unless there's something specific about it. But most of Todd McFarlane's Spawn books end up appreciating over time, meaning they don't go lower in price. They end up just going up in value. And then some of it's small value, but anything that has a signature on it is going to significantly increase. So traditionally, you could get any book would probably get you $35 extra on top of the cover price when it's signed and slabbed like that. But with Todd McFarlane, it could probably increase the value like $1,200.
It could go through the roof.
The roof is on fire.
I have to go to the comic book store now every first Wednesday of the month because my husband is into Magic the Gathering and they have a comic strip out now. And every first Wednesday of the month, it's my job to go during the day and get his copy of it. And I forgot this past Wednesday. And he got home and was like, "Where's my comic book?" And I was like, "Oh crap, I gotta go." And I ran over there and they still had some left. And then I also had to get him a couple of packs of magic cards, to apologize for not.
To appease the beast within, right?
Yeah.
To appease the magic beast.
We'll have to show you. We'll have to remind us at the end to give you. We had an episode, Cynthia, where we had a woman who redraws magic cards. So she takes magic cards and then she either, what would you say, Joe, like retouches it maybe, and or she'll draw an original image for the card. And she had done some that were like cards that were pricey. And I was sitting here just thinking to myself, like, why would you mess up a value? But her clients, it's their cards and they're commissioning her to do stuff. But it was an interesting show. And I was just like, okay.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah. We had a buddy who was on, who went to an adoption over in the Ukraine, and he funded the adoption with a single magic card.
What? That
We're talking,
blows my mind.
You can look it up, and you can tell your husband, tell him about the Black Lotus, but the Black Lotus original.
I've heard that name before, so I'm sure he talked about it around me.
Yeah, it was like a $40,000 card.
Yeah, your husband knows.
He knows. Listen, this is what happened. When he first got into it, which was probably like 8 years ago or maybe 9 years ago, he taught me how to play, and I would play with him sometimes. I even built my own deck. I had a blue-white deck that was my favorite. It was a counter deck. And then I also had a mill deck that was all blue. And people who play will know what that means. My planeswalker was just saying. So I was playing and everything was great. And then all of a sudden, they came out with all these new cards, and he was like, "Oh, your deck isn't good anymore. You're going to have to buy new cards and make." And I got so mad that I quit playing and never played again.
That's like, bad.
You don't tell me when I need to buy new cards.
Right?
Steve says the books have been around for a long time. If he doesn't have them, you guys need to find them.
Okay. Yeah, her husband's really into it too.
Oh, into magic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what she meant. Cards. Not
so
books,
her husband and your husband are pals.
Oh.
They will be once they finally speak. They haven't actually talked yet. But once they do, it'll be Sparkles of Magic the Gathering all in the air. I don't know.
Can you imagine that nerd conversation? That's going to be a super nerd conversation right there.
Well, actually,
make sure that you have a phone ready right there so we can record them.
Record it all. Replay it. Like, laugh at it.
Right. And the part where, have you seen that TikTok they do? It's like, how do you know that your significant other won't cheat on you? And you just show that video.
Yes.
Oh no, that's so mean.
That's terrible. But it would be hilarious. We'd give him a trip to a spa afterwards so he can, recover from the social trauma that it would give him, though. Right. Okay. Kat says, and depending on the artist, repaints can be worth more than original. And yes, Kat, you're right. If you go through our show episodes, like on YouTube, I think if you just type in under the social and distancing show, you can search for episodes, look for one that says magic, I think, on there, or artist. Mm-hmm. It's going to be one of those two. Anyway, you'll see in the description the artist that we're talking about, and her work was great. Actually, it was really cool and really detailed. Yeah. It is beautiful. It was just like, how much are some of these cards that you're doing? And it was like, okay. So, anyway. Sorry, I'm looking.
The guy who illustrated my book that I published, he actually has gone on since then to win several awards here in Ohio, and he's kind of becoming quite well known. And some of his work is I believe it's still being displayed in some museums in Columbus and stuff. So yeah, he's moving right on up there. So
wow. That's awesome. So you had him do one of his originals or early works was on your book. So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, 9 of them technically, because he did the cover and he did all 8 of the stories. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And my logo.
When he did yours, did he sign it by any chance?
He signed. I have the originals that he drew that were
Oh, okay.
scanned
So the
for the book.
sketches.
So
Yes,
I
yes,
not
yes.
only, I have all those that
Nice.
when he signs one of his pieces, he hides his signature in it. And you have to
I feel
look
that.
through it to
I feel that.
find
He's
it.
one of them guys.
Yeah, it's cool because his work that I had him do is all scribbles. It's all Bic pen scribbles that make up the picture. So
Yeah.
he hides it in there. It's really cool.
So back in season 2, if you go back, and I don't know that anyone ever did this because no one ever reached out, but every single promo picture that I built had a pineapple hidden in the image somewhere.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
It was fun.
that.
It was fun building it.
Speaking of artist signatures, the people that create stamps, the art for stamps, they're not supposed to put their signature in it. And this one artist actually did, and he got in trouble for doing it.
Oh no!
Openly did it.
He was trying to as part of the landscape or something, but then someone noticed that that's his signature, and he got in trouble. So I bet you that stamp is like crazy valuable now because they're not supposed to do that.
Why would they get in trouble for that?
I think it's just part of the
kind of like how the government says don't deface the dollar bill or whatever. Maybe.
I can't believe that people actually collect stamps. I'm just like, who does that? Just like,
have y'all seen those short videos, everyone on YouTube or wherever? Like I've seen them where the guy goes to just get a whole bunch of dollar bills or 20s or whatever it is, and then a whole bunch of coins, and like he'll just go look through them and look for specific ones, and he's like, look, this quarter's worth $5. This quarter's worth $20. Oh, this one's worth $100.
Right.
And he goes he takes back all the other quarters, but he gets those to sell online for what their value is.
I have a story about that. So back when I was way younger, I was probably like 20 at the time. I worked at a bank as a teller, and we had a customer who that was his business. He would find bills mostly that were worth more than their value, and he would resell them. That was all he did. So one day he had told us what to look for in the serial numbers so we would recognize them. And he said, if you see ones with this particular pattern or these numbers or whatever, tell me. Well, I found one that met his description. So the next time it came, I just set it aside inside my cash drawer. So the next time he came in, I showed it to him and he goes, all right, well, that $50 bill is worth $100. I'll give you 80 for it right now. And I was like, well, I work at a bank and I'm in the teller station right now. That would not look good. So I just cashed it out myself. I cashed a check and I got it. And I sold it to him later for $80 and it was a $50 bill. And then I assumed that he resold it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow.
I want to do it. I just need to spend some time to collect those videos and, write down my list that says, or, whatever to say, I just need to see if I can find these. I don't want to make it into a big thing, but I'm like, if I can walk into the bank and just say, give me $20 in quarters and then just start looking through them, I figure that's easy enough.
Kat said that they're not allowed to advertise with federal funds. So that's.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense, I guess.
And then CPJ says, I got so excited about the Beatles stamps that came out not too long ago that I went and bought several sheets. Don't remember how many, but they are in my safe. The code is 03 4 5 6
1 2 3
8 6 7 5 3 0.
Hi, Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but hi.
So that happens because they haven't liked our show page.
Yeah.
If you like the show page, we'll be able to see your name. Yes. I did put the link in my Facebook group, so maybe
they're probably watching it in your Facebook group. But if they like our page, then we'll see their name. Okay. You don't have to, but if you just want to put your name in the comments,
you don't have to, but you can.
But you can, yeah. So this weekend was really cool. I went to go visit in our town, Uptown Normal. We had an arts festival, right? So I'm walking in the festival with my kiddo. And all of a sudden, this person yells out to me and says, hey, you're Pineapples, right? And I was like, huh? And she goes, you're Pineapples. You're the pineapple guy. And I was like, I'm sorry, excuse me? And so I was like, yeah, but what are you talking about? How do you, and so I'm going through all that confusion. She goes, it's me. I was a guest on your show once. And I was like, what? And she goes, it's me, Carly. And I was like, Carly, remind me. And so she was like, the art therapist. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I got a picture with her this weekend, and you can see her painting back there, actually behind me. She made over there. She made that painting. She was the hands, and the social and distancing show was the creativity behind it. So we would tell her the colors, the shapes,
Nice.
all this stuff, and then she was just doing it there for us, and that's what that thing ended up being. And that was
that's awesome.
Yes,
That's
it was
cool.
so funny. It was so funny. So she talked to me about a new not-for-profit organization that she and her partner are building, and I was like, don't say anymore. I'm going to have you come back on so we can talk about it. You guys can talk about it, but I will tell you, it's basically art therapists for the community, and so it was cool. I was so pumped about it because
cool.
if you guys, whether you did or didn't watch the episode she was on, it was really eye-opening, very therapeutic, very, for people who are a little bit more tactile and creative. The therapy helps with that. It's basically putting like your emotions and your feelings and experiences on like a canvas or whatever. And I mean, it was fantastic.
Nice.
I had a fantastic time during that show.
I've been recognized by my voice a couple of times here in my town, and it's surreal when it happens.
Yeah.
I had one lady bring me my food at Longhorn, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I listened to your show and I just love it." And blah, blah, blah. And then I had a guy in Subway ask me to say "spook you later" when I came, because that's the thing I say at the end of my script. And then until next time, we'll spook you later. He's like, "Can you just say it?"
Just
Like,
say it one
oh
time.
my
Just
goodness,
one time.
it's
That's
weird,
awesome.
but all right.
Joanne said she collects silver dimes.
I
Nice.
did that comment, but thanks.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. Someone told me this weekend, they put it on their Facebook account. They said, I was literally at a fast food restaurant, and two workers, or a worker and a guest, something like that. Someone had a $2 bill, and the other guy paid him $10 for the $2 bill.
Wow.
Because he said it was rare and all this stuff, but not rare in the sense of like collector's items or whatever. He was like, you just don't see $2 bills often. And so my friend was like, because I told him, I was like, yeah, maybe it was one of those, bills. And he was like, no.
No.
He was like, if you'd have been there, you'd have understood. And I believed him. And I trusted. I was like,
I saw a TikTok where somebody tried to pay with a $2 bill, and the cashier thought it was fake. He's like, "This is fake. I'm going to call the cops because this is a fake bill."
Oh my gosh.
Come
I'm
on,
like, please do it. Please do
Millennials.
it. Just,
Am I right?
Oh my gosh.
So Facebook user says, so I control. Yes, you can.
You
Nice.
control. But we know it's John Hart.
Oh, how is he doing that then? Maybe he's seeing it on your page, Joe.
I don't know. Oh, it might be because I shared it over to my page.
Okay.
That's
Sandy says, weird. I can see it's John. Well, because on the Facebook side of things, you can, and because John's your friend also.
Yeah.
So, let me tell you, have y'all noticed on Facebook posts, there are sometimes when you see people's posts that you can't respond or put a help me out. What is it called?
Emoji?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, an emoji. That you can't put an emoji on?
No, because
have you ever seen that?
You've been blocked.
Hey, slow it down. This was my bit, not yours. Jeez. Have y'all seen that before yet?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay, so I
I'm the one
found
that's
out
doing the
that meant that when you can't like or respond to someone's post, or not post, response or reply in someone else's post, it means they blocked you. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Knowledge drop.
No, I have been blocked by several people. And when you get blocked, you can't even see that they exist. So if they respond to somebody's post that you're also friends with, you will never know it. It will say 3 comments, but for you will only see 2 of them. You will not see the third one at all. So if they blocked you, they don't exist to you anymore.
So there's a different thing for that. That's not a block. I don't remember what that is. I think that's an unfollow actually, but a block makes it so that you can see their post on someone else's post. You can see their replies on someone else's post. So like, for example, Joe and I are friends, and let's say that I unfollowed you. You couldn't see my post. What you just described, you wouldn't see that on Joe's post. But if I blocked you, you would see my replies in Joe's post, but you wouldn't be able to reply or hit like or anything else like that on my reply.
Okay. You might want to check because I'm pretty sure that that's blocking what you're like. Blocking is when you can't see anything because half my family has blocked me now.
Oh,
So I have, unfortunately, I have a lot of experience being blocked and blocking, frankly.
Yes, speaking of, I have blocked John Hartwell, and that's why we can't see his name. So.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. My wife has not blocked me. Oh no, what's that one where you unfollow?
So unfollow. Yeah. Unfollow is when you're still friends with them, but you don't see all the stuff they post in your wall. Unfriend is when you delete them as a friend. So you can still see them on other people's posts, but you're not friends with them. So you can't interact with them. And then blocking is when they just disappear. You never even know they're there anymore.
So those are the three things. Where was I going with that? Oh, my wife unfollowed me.
Yeah, she unfollows you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
so she doesn't want to see your stuff.
Tell the audience why she did that. There's a good reason why she did that, though.
Why did your wife unfollow you?
Several years ago, I had some pretty traumatic surgery on my eyes, and I was posting up pictures of my eyes. I was like, "Look, it's all fine. Everything's fine." And then, the next day, it was bulging out, where it was like I couldn't even put my glasses all the way on.
Oh,
and
no.
You couldn't think like eyes could get that big without something happening to it, right? But I'm serious. It was protruding way bad. So I couldn't do anything for like 2 weeks except look down. So I was very bored and just was like, "Hey, y'all, look at this." Boom. And kept taking pictures and opening it. So she was like,
how many people unfollowed you? Because
you know, so she's still my friend, so she can still see stuff that I tag her in, but she no longer sees my feed because she was like.
And so she's like, you know what? I don't even want to follow you anymore at all. So.
But I still see her responses on our family and friends' posts and everything else, but she just doesn't see anything in my feed.
She never changed it?
No. Now it's not even a point of it's just where it's like, I don't even know how to do that. I don't care to do it. It's fine. It doesn't. And so, but occasionally she'll go through my feed because I'll see some stuff. Because I'll see her say, "Can you please take this down?" And I'll be like, "Why?" And she'll tell me, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's a good reason." So, take it down. So yeah, that's how. Anyone else have besides Ghost Lady and I who have family unfollowing you on Facebook? Yeah. Why? Let's see what these comments say.
That I unfollow, but no.
You unfollowed some.
I've unfollowed a few family members, and I've only been blocked, I think, once or twice from. I don't even know why it's for, but.
John says he did like the page. Refresh it, see if it changes, John. If not, we'll just know Facebook users you trolling us. Okay.
No, you just I blocked him. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, John. I still like you. It's his problem, not mine. And Ghost Lady likes you too. So, you're fine on our book. We don't own that, Joe. Guess that explains why no one ever talks to me when I'm.
Stop.
I mean, it's a harsh reality to cope with, and if you don't have tough skin or you care too much, it can really mess you up socially, mentally, right? And so
it hit me in the feels when I realized a few specific family members did that, but that was like 6 months ago, so I'm over it now.
Oh.
Oh, that's fresh. Okay. It's funny when I started looking through it makes me laugh though, because now I'm wondering who's unfollowed me or who's blocked me or whatever the case is, and it's like I wonder which one of my, because I do post some stuff that I know not a lot of people like, and so I'm like, I wonder which post did it though. And they're probably like all of it. So I'm like, okay, fair enough.
It's so crazy to me that people get upset about Facebook posts, and I'm just like.
Yeah,
we're not going to change each other's minds without an actual conversation, and we're also not going to. It's not going to resolve anything when you start blaming Facebook for all the world's problems. Just like the problem is, we're trying to be social in this Facebook social world that's not really social, and you're trying to get a point across that you're not going to get across for someone that's just as soon as you type something, all they're going to do is Google something that's in their favor or their bias, and just going back and forth against.
Plus,
the
when you
hard
type,
go ahead.
When you type, you don't actually know that person, the inflection in their voice, or like it's so different than speaking. Like I can say, I hope you have a nice day, but if I type it, you might read it as I hope you have a nice day.
You have a nice
day.
Enjoy your next 24 hours. Like
yeah, that is the hard part, is like that inflection, and then just the delivery method can really change the way that something, because you
not just
see
that.
it on page, yeah.
But it's also like, so our friends, right? Like I know that you can have a friend that also gets triggered by something someone else says, and then they'll come and gun shooting and stuff like that, you know? And so then it's kind of like, now I see y'all both fighting. And I'll be honest, there are times where I'm like, I'm not going to touch that because I don't know what you read into it, and I don't know what you read. I'm not trying to start drama, but I'm also not trying to jump in there. So I'm just going to be, I just sit back and be like, he makes a good point. She makes a good point.
That's when you break out the popcorn.
I mean, I hate to put it that way, but you know, and anyway, but so I do think that's a challenge, right? I think it's a challenge because then when your friends start posting or seeing stuff, you know, and I'm hugely defensive. Not for me, but when it comes to friends and I see stuff and I'm like, yo, back off, punk. What are you doing? You're great. Now you've just blasted this person on Facebook. I bet you feel great now, don't you? Who else do you want to blast? And that's usually, that's usually how I do it. So anyway, let's see what CPJ said.
You can be my friend because I never post anything political because it's just annoying.
Is that because you don't have an iPhone? Because we iPhone users have the same features, just opposite of what you said. What was my feed? What was my all the Facebook stuff.
Okay.
No, it's if the ghost lady says she doesn't have an iPhone, then it might be.
I do have an iPhone.
Okay, so never mind. That didn't work. Sandy says, but if you're blocked, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
That's what
usually they don't exist.
Anita, you froze for a bit, Joe. He does that occasionally. Anita. Like even when I
that looks so
even
real.
when I message him.
Oh my gosh.
He'll do that.
I'm telling you, because I don't have fiber, I have crappy internet now, and so I'm just not very impressed.
That sounds like the iPhone excuse a minute ago. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, listen, if you guys see something weird in my background, tell me, because I just like a week or two ago saw a black shadow in this office that I'm sitting in.
Shut the front door, Cynthia.
Yeah,
true
door. Story.
And then
it was like little Christ, black legs that ran across
Get away from the screens.
Where's my sage?
Right.
You need an egg and a sage. Facebook user says, too many rules for Meta. Unfollow, block, and restrict.
Yeah.
John says, I got my eyes on you.
It's all the eyeball talk there, Jamie.
Oh, that's
nice.
Looking back on it, it's gross because I have it occasionally appearing
in your memories.
I try not to repost it, but I'll see him and I'll be like, I'm like, those were my eyeballs. That's so crazy. Why did I post that? I was really bored. I like the page. I like the page for you. Oh, he liked it. Past tense. He liked it. And then he was like, I don't get anything out of this, so never mind.
So I bet you if you go and watch it on our page instead of my page, my feed, you'll probably show.
Oh, that's right. He did say he blocked you on his page. Yeah. That makes sense now.
You guys are determined to troubleshoot this.
We're both nice. Dude, stop right now. Okay. Yesterday, okay, so Jamie, what time do I get to work?
If it's a good day, about 12:30. If it's a bad day, about 10 o'clock.
Right. Okay. So I don't really work that hard. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't really work that hard.
He goes into work to make it on time for lunch. That's what he does.
Exactly.
Everyone. Okay.
I'm there in time for lunch.
Nice.
Freaking horrible.
But I really appreciate my employees. And so I have a fairly new guy, and he was doing an installation yesterday. And he was having some problems. And so instead of sending my more seasoned guy, I went myself. So
Whoa, hold on now. You went yourself.
I went myself. Let me tell you.
He struggled.
We were troubleshooting and we couldn't figure this thing out. And I was like, well, we're just going to have to run a new cable. So I was up on a ladder. We were running a new cable. I terminated Cat 5 ends. I haven't done this stuff in years. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
You got the wrong guy.
And then so we figured that out. The installation went well. We finally figured out, got everything working. We go back to the office. I have my new guy. There's a couple of things that he needs to do. And while I'm helping him with that, we get another phone call. And I'm like, well, you need to do this. My other guy had to leave early to go pick up his kid. So I had to go on another call. I was out in the field.
2 for 2.
I was 2 for 2 yesterday. You guys would not believe it. And
I believe it.
So I get out there and they're having an internet issue. And I'm like, how do I do this again? I was like, okay, all right. So I need to do this. And because the internet company told them that the internet's working, so we need to bypass our router, blah, blah, blah. So I plugged directly into the computer. I was like, all right, yes, I remember. Okay, so we got the internet working. So yes, the internet's working. So we're trying to go back in and put everything back the way it was. My firewall stopped working, is what I thought. But so I go to the owner and I was like, okay, got good news, bad news. Good news, your internet's working. Bad news is your firewall's fried. So I'm gonna have to get you something else for now until we can order you a new firewall.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, okay. So this was supposed to be like a 5-minute call. I'm still working on it 20 minutes later. So I go to Walmart, just pick up a cheap little router, come back. There's another technician there because of their
they didn't believe you. Like we're gonna call it a professional.
that handles their other part of their network. And he's like,
oh, they called their guy.
No, they called both of us, and he happened to show up while I was gone. And he's like, I was like, dude, yeah, my firewall's not working. He's like, no, that's not the problem. It's like our little gateway box needs to be reconfigured because we had to change some things around. He said, so I don't think you need to get this firewall. I don't think you need a new one. I was like, great. So I was like, and then I'm trying to remember. It's like, how do I dial into? Man, I am a slacker. I need to go back on more calls.
So everyone, it's real funny when Joe tells a story because I get a glimpse into this because Sandy will sometimes share that she's got some challenges going on. And there are times where I'm like, oh, I can help her out real quick. But Joe's already answering. I'm like, I got to see this. Let's just see what's going on because I know what's about to happen. And Joe will go on and he'll share. There's some paragraphs and sentences there and stuff. And then down at the very bottom, he'll just be like, but I think Jamie could probably help you out with this.
Yeah,
I think he knows a little bit.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. I'll be the first person to tell you that I'm not as good as I used to be at it. Because I'm just like, you know what? There's a reason that I hire these people and pay them so much a year to do this thing. So,
give him an iPhone and he's great. Put him in a computer office.
Yeah, I'm good. Like if you need me to reply to emails and cool people off and and put out fires, I can do that. And so, but other than that, yeah.
But you know what? If anyone if his like employees are there, and then after he shows up and it starts working, who gets all the credit though? Everyone thinks it's him, and so then they end up wanting to call him anyway to be like, "Hey, you fixed me the last 12 times he came out here," and he's like, "Yeah,
no, yeah." See, and the other reason, so people used to ask for my personal cell phone number, and I was like, no. And that's the other reason that I stopped showing up like early in the morning is because people would skip over my guys and talk to me directly about something that my guys could have fixed. So
Joe's epic idea was like, I just shouldn't show up. That makes total sense. It's not like I'm not going to answer the phone. It's not that I'm going to forward my voicemail and everything to everyone else. It's like, I'll just sleep in until lunchtime and then get into the office.
I don't see a problem with that logic.
That sounds like a pretty sweet
nothing
job.
Wrong with it. Yeah, I agree, Ghost Lady. I agree. Okay.
Like, I don't see anything wrong with his logic.
Oh gosh.
So what sucked too, like so I went out on that call and I didn't get done with that one till like 5:30, and then I had a photo shoot like at 7. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was a little crazy. It was a little crazy yesterday, just a little bit.
Sorry.
You guys should know that I'm definitely 2% most of the time. But I've worked to my 2%. It's not that
You're like, okay. So in the corporate world, we call that overutilization. It's when you give, essentially you're giving too much to your job. And so you overutilize your resources. And that's what happens for Joe. When he goes over 2%, he's being overutilized already.
Yeah. I'm
You
just
got to
like,
pull him out and be like, get him out of there.
Whoa. It's like, slow down.
Hold up.
Let's slow down right now.
So
For
let me
some
catch
reason,
up.
I thought that it was going to be a good idea to take on a side job, like a side hustle with this lady who has a really cool organizing business. And I used to do that. So I'm kind of a subcontractor for her. And I thought that would be a good idea to do in the month of October when I am the busiest and I am writing the most. And so she's like, I've got a job, a garage clean out. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Too much. It's a lot.
You're like, it seemed like a good idea at the time. It definitely seemed like a good idea. Yeah. Excuse me. Let me catch up on some of these
Let's catch up some comments.
So CPJ was saying, I refuse to block Joe because I like seeing his photography. So there's that.
Right, exactly. Some people that's the only reason that they follow me.
Facebook user says, I want to unfriend family, but this is the only way to communicate. I don't want their phone number. I don't even like them.
Listen, just don't communicate with them.
It's
Problem solved. I mean, over the last year, I have done that. I'm more peaceful now. Just saying.
You're more
sometimes it really helps to cut the people out. I mean, All right. Joanne says, Jaime does that. He always puts his 2 cents. Jaime does that. He always puts his 2 cents in.
I think this is about the Facebook posting earlier.
I was going to say, when has that never been me, though?
Right, exactly.
You're saying you type that like it's new information.
It's new information, or this is something that you want to broadcast that we don't already know.
Right. So like when you guys watch me or you guys want to be my friends, like that's just going to come with the territory. Joe does 2%. I'm going to put my cents
2
in.
cents.
I write 2-sentence scary stories.
Oh, snap.
That can be my 2.
So she does 2-sentence stories. I put my 2 cents in, and Joe gives his 2% in. Yes. It's awesome, guys. I love it.
Okay. Freeze. Okay, good.
Kat says Steve left Facebook 6 years ago. There is still a page, but nothing gets posted anymore. Abandoned pages, ghost pages. We should call it. That's what they are.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, that's a story idea for you, Ghost Lady. Write a story about a ghost Facebook page that haunts people, or
like getting blocked.
And
the ghost page blocks all your friends and family.
Every time you block it, it unblocks itself and sends you messages. Oh, just so creepy. Don't send me that story though, because I'll be a little. Facebook user says, "Yeah, I like looking at Joe's photography too. I adjust them and post them as mine."
Save them.
He steals my work.
You too? CPJ, I use Facebook to either work or watch this show. Honestly, I rarely see anything because I am working most of the time I'm on. So for y'all that don't know, CPJ, she runs her own business from her home where she does she makes shirts, print shirts and cups and serving plates. All kinds of stuff. It's really cool. But anyway, she's very creative and she has some really amazing products out there. But I have this image of you, CPJ, when you're at work and like the TV's on in the background and you're kind of moving between rooms and you're like, oh, I got this idea, and you kind of mock that up, or you're working on something else. And then I'm like, man, it would be fun to just see CPJ work. John says, praying for us. Thank you, John, because we need all the prayers we can get.
Thank you. Stop giving us the mean face.
Please stop. Yeah.
I'm at 2% at life. I'm not.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Life. I'm 2% at when I'm required to do something.
Oh, he sent the off season. Anita, Ghost Lady, is that why you're in a low lighted room so we can see real ghosts behind you?
I'm spooky. It's my spooky office with all of my spooky things. So I figured low lighting would match.
I think that's fine.
Cynthia, you know what you should do? There's an LED line that you can get, and you can like program it to do certain things. Like you can have it like go across the back of your room and just hit the button, and this little green.
Nice. Oh my gosh.
Like,
freak all my followers
out.
out.
And just be like nothing's happening, but you just like
I'll act totally normal right. While a shadow goes whoosh over the thing.
He is old, John. He is. We know that. Yeah. Sandy, so are you going to take the rest of the week off?
I thought about it. But
then he'd miss lunch and he'd go starving. Sandy, so he can't do that.
So people always ask me, "Hey Joe, when are we going to meet?" And I'm like, "It's like, can you meet at 9 a.m?" I'm like, "No, my meeting time is 1:30."
He's like 9:40 p.m. You want brunch at 10 o'clock at night?
Like, people, you know what's crazy though? Like when I do get to work, I get to work and I reply to all the emails I need to reply to right as soon as I get to work. And then people be like, "Thanks for the fast response."
Oh gosh.
Terrible, Joe. Jeez. Nice. I've never seen anyone put 2% in and then the responses from it are like they got 110% out of it.
So that's what I'm saying, because that means that my business is being run well because they think that I'm actually responding fast.
Yeah. I mean, that's great for you, man. That's great for you.
No, but it is almost Boss's Day. So I want to make sure that I get something good for Boss's Day.
The gall of this guy, I swear.
I am my own boss, so that means
that's right.
Myself, right?
That's right, Ghost Lady. You treat yourself good, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
October 15th. I think it's October 15th is Boss's Day. So I'll
nice.
CPJ says Christmas. Oh, wait, how does she say that? No, Sandy must have. Okay, Christmas bonus. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Facebook user says time for Joe to hire someone for calls and go full time into.
I do have
Facebook user. I have been telling him this for the last how long, Joe?
5 years.
I was about to say about 5 years. I have been telling him this. I have met with photographers before I even started really telling Joe this, but I've heard of photographers who make a killing, and I'm like, why is Joe not doing that? I know you're doing good, Joe. I know you're doing good financially with this. But if you could do better and then just do what you want full time, like it, John, help me tell him that. Everyone tell him that. Like, I'm not saying he even has to give up Trinity, like sell it or whatever. Like he could still own it or whatever, but
I still do 2% there. I don't even understand why I would need to.
Ghost Lady, does it make sense? Like if you could do what you love to do 100% of the time, would you want to do that, or would you still want to keep 2% in over there?
So
I mean, do what makes you happy. So
do you want to hear my logic, Cynthia? Do you want to hear my logic?
Yeah.
Say no. Say no.
This is my logic.
No, Cynthia.
If I'm worried that I don't have enough shoots during the month to make sure that I can feed my family, to pay my bills and stuff like that, that's a job.
But you're going to spend $40,000 at one time. You're not. I mean, the idea is that you would be making like $140,000 a year.
Yeah, but
is it all just going to?
Then
you go out to get Whataburger that much?
Yes.
I see what you mean, though. I see what you mean. Once you're doing the thing you love to support your family, then it feels like a job, and it shifts a little bit.
But if he already has a job. Like the logic doesn't make sense. The arithmetic here, the calculus isn't working out, Joe.
No matter what.
What I hear is excuses. That's what I hear. Okay,
it's okay. It's okay. He's been telling me for 5 years. Obviously, it's not going to happen.
And it's different with everyone else. Like with Joe, it could actually happen. It's waiting to happen. The door's over there. It's right behind him, and it's not even locked. He literally just has to open it and it'll happen. Y'all help me out, please. Joe, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
hurt my brain. I'm gonna,
You know what's funny though?
you put it
You
in
know what's
the,
crazy? Because
what?
they're like, Joe, thank you so much for your help. I truly appreciate
Right.
it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You get the credit. Your guy has been there all morning by himself. He calls you because he needs help. You fix it then. You just need to fix it and then bail out. You don't even need to say anything. That way your workers can get the credit. Kat
Exactly.
says
That's why I don't
lunch,
show up most of the time.
lunch, nap at desk, go home. Sounds like management.
Kat, you got me.
Joe is lame. It's your business. Take off of it. Darn it.
Take of it. Take care of it. I think she's trying to say take care of it. Joanne,
Oh, okay.
I am taking care of it. If I don't have to do much work, that's the whole point, right?
So I will say that too. Look, okay. So guys, Joe and I have been friends for a long time. So when we're off the show, I definitely am. I check on him every now and then because I worry about him sometimes. So I'm just like, hey, how are things going or whatever, and he'll give me updates and stuff. And there is positive stuff going on behind the scenes, and it's kind of like, well, that's great. So it's not like I'm saying he's in a stressful situation or he's in a dead end type thing, because there are great things happening in his world and at Trinity. And so it's not like there's this super desire to get rid of it. But at the same time, I'm just like, then why even give it anything if it's doing so well? Go do what you want to do full time and just let that continue doing well and increase how much you can make 3 times. Anyway.
I do know when I was writing stories before the podcast, it felt a little different, but now I have to have a story written every 2 weeks for the show. And so I have deadlines and I have pressure, and I do a 3-part story every Halloween. So now I'm working on that, and there's a deadline for that. So it does change the way it feels when you write it.
The dynamic of how you feel about it, where it was like, oh, I love doing this, whereas like I have to do this.
Yes.
Like, so if you love doing something, sometimes you don't always have to do it. And so that's where I'm at. And
Ghost Lady, stop helping him. He's just leeching on what you're saying, okay? That's all he's doing right now.
But Mr. Pineapples, I'm telling you, once you get to that point where you're like, I'm really good at this, and it's something that I love doing on the side, but if it ever comes to a point where you're like, oh, I have to do this now, or something, there's going to be consequences, then that's where it's like, I don't think I want.
And you know what?
I never wanted it to feel like that. I don't ever want it to feel like that. So
I think you're both right, and I will definitely concede to that, because I have been in the corporate world for the last 12 years or so, something like that, right? And I love the corporate world. I'm in a situation where, like, I go to work just to work. There's no emotion about it. Like, I go for jobs that I can get paid well for my experience and stuff like that. And I go to work, I do what I do on the keyboard, and then when 5 o'clock rolls around, I'm done, and I don't have anything to worry about, and I'm not stressed. I don't remember the last time I felt heavy stress at work in terms of my work production or whatever. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't even think about it. When people ask what do, I'm always like, well, I have a show, I meet people, I help the next generation out. Those are the things that I love doing. I collect comic books. You know what I mean? Those are the things that I enjoy. I don't ever start with, well, I work as an analyst, and I've been an analyst in the corporate environment for X amount of years. So for me, it's just a means to an end. I just work at those jobs because they pay well and take care of my family.
Well, I just say I'm a podcaster, and I'm kind of a big deal. So
right. I think he's frozen.
Did you actually freeze, or are you just doing that?
No, I think he's actually frozen. I was about to say, he does that way better than me.
Because he looks like he's doing it on purpose.
Right, exactly. So let's keep going here. We'll go to CPJ. She goes, let's talk about this. Why do we, as people, feel as if we are required to stay connected to family members who we don't get along with or are toxic to us? Who made this rule? Exactly.
Facebook. It's an inherent collect more friends. So Facebook, guys, if you haven't seen, there's a movie documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma.
Oh, yes.
Go watch it. It actually it is.
I think what she's saying, though, is why do we feel like we have to have relationship with people because they are family? Why is it not acceptable to
Oh yeah, she's not necessarily
break a
saying it's the
relationship.
social
Oh,
media.
okay.
Like mine fell apart because I confronted my mom, and I no longer have a relationship with either my mom or my dad now for a year now.
I remember you mentioned that the last time you were on here.
I'll
Mhm.
just be
Mhm.
public about it. So there's a big stigma about um not having a relationship with your mother. Like you get the
Right.
whole she's the only mom you've got, it's
Mhm.
life is short. Well, those are all also great reasons to say, why should I continue to expose myself to an abusive person? Life is short. I don't
Right.
have time for that.
Right.
Yeah, I remember I
So,
was talking with someone recently, and I was telling them, I was like, if you're in a toxic relationship, no matter what the relationship is, whether it's work, marriage, family, friends, just the book club, like you should not expose yourself to those toxic
yeah.
uh, areas. Like you shouldn't. And for all the flack you get from individuals, they're not the ones who sleep in your bed. You know what I mean? Like they're not the ones at the end of the day who live with the choices that you make. They're
Right.
we are just the outside party to those people. In your case, I'm speaking specifically, we're all just the outside party, and we can all feel what we believe and what we think and what we feel. But at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with the choices, decisions, consequences. I get to go home in my bed and go to sleep there.
Yeah.
So that's when I say it's like you're not walking a mile in someone else's shoes. You don't know their experiences. So,
Yeah.
and you're not required to share your experiences with everyone just to satiate their,
Yeah. Can you
whatever you
imagine
want
if
to call.
somebody told you that they were physically abused by someone and you asked them, oh, well, just let bygones be
Oh my
bygones,
God.
just they're going to be at this restaurant that we're going to eat at, but just come anyway. Like, why you
And you
wouldn't
know
say
what?
that.
It's such an old way of thinking, I think, right? Like
Mhm.
that's my opinion, at least. I believe it's an older model of thinking. It's an older generation of thinking where it's like,
Yeah, you just brush stuff under the rug
Mhm.
and pretend like
you don't talk
everything's
about
hunky-dory.
those important
Yeah.
things that happen to you, and for the sake of the family or whatever, which is
Mhm.
ridiculous, right? And I get there are things. So if there's a graph, there are things that you do for the sake of the family, right? Like for when the kids, like, yeah, we're gonna all go support your sister because this is her public speaking event, and family, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, I'm gonna ask you to sacrifice whatever it is to do that. But then there's areas that when they go above that line, when they cross that line, you're like, yeah, that you can't ask someone that. If someone abused someone in the family, you don't say just be there because we can just sweep that.
Mhm.
Was no, what the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to get some of these more comments because there's some people who've written some good stuff. And speaking of ghost pages, a friend of mine's deceased mom's page, that's a lot of possessive, got hacked. Imagine her surprise getting a message from her mom.
Oh no.
That's terrible.
That's
Especially
terrible.
asking for a gift card. That'd be terrible.
A $500 Apple gift card. You're like, man, Apple's got antennas in the afterlife.
That is not
Oh my
right.
gosh. You're stupid. Why'd you make me want that? He led me and I just went with him. So freaking Joe. So I had this happen once in a way where my father-in-law, he passed away some years ago, and I got a phone call and it had his name on there, and I was like, I thought I was just whatever. It had his last name on the caller ID and left the voicemail. So when I called the voicemail back, I nearly lost my ever loving mind because it was my father-in-law's voice. And I didn't even pay attention to the message. I had to replay it. And then the second time around it hit me, it was my father-in-law's brother.
Oh wow.
And good God, they sounded
like
exactly alike. And because of that, they had the same last name. So it was
you just saw the
freak.
Spooler part.
That's all I saw.
Yeah.
That's all I saw. And then I hear the voice and I am just like I was frozen.
That would have freaked me out.
And so anyway, it was.
And you guys know I'm not a believer, so I would have been freaked out. So
he'd have been a believer that day.
Right.
Don't go to Joe. Not at Joe.
Not at me.
Don't at me, bruh. Joe is one of the most diversified photographer I know. Landscape, portraits, fitness, and other things in between. going to teach travel. You're going to go teach travel?
No.
Oh, you're traveling to
That
go
would be cool.
teach,
I'm
right?
traveling to go teach. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been asked to speak in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I'll be teaching a class over there in that part of the woods.
So
my first time there.
I wanted to sign up for your class, John. I was going to surprise you, but I couldn't make it because it's during March is one of the most difficult months of my year because all three ladies in my house, their birthdays are in March.
Oh.
My birthday's
four.
in March.
I'm sorry. All 4 ladies in my house are all in March. 3 of them in the same week.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So
that's a perfect reason to leave.
I agree.
You guys really should have timed that better.
One of them's my niece, my wife, and then my 2 kids. So anyhow, CPJ says, I totally get keeping the 2% job. Going back to what we were talking about a minute ago. Time, freedom with the camera with exactly who, what, when, and where. Who, what, when, where. If his cameras break and seniors don't graduate, he still has security at Trinity. I always say, don't make a big decision if your soul isn't at rest with the choice.
Great word, CPJ. Thank you.
You don't need to help him either, CPJ. Everyone just... I agree with CPJ, what she's saying, her message. But Joe doesn't have a good message, so he takes everyone else's. And if you haven't realized that, Joe has admitted he has a hard time coming up with his own original stuff, so he has to borrow people's, or he can poke holes in others very well.
Sorry.
Kat says, Cindy does short stories for others as well. You can even get a hand-bound copy of your story too.
There she is, plugging my show.
Yeah.
Wow, she is amazing.
She's good.
She's good.
You've got a great co-host. Where can I get 1 or 2 like that? I'm just asking for a friend.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
I've been looking for 100%.
Oh, he bailed. He gone.
I was asking for a friend, Joe. Come back, okay? I didn't mean me or us. I was someone else. Okay,
Sandy, we're looking for a new host ourselves.
Are you
asking for a friend? I meant asking for a friend.
I might have to kick him out after all. Facebook user says, I agree with you, Pineapples. I think Joe should be at BH and Adorama. Not sure what those are, but they sound familiar.
They're big camera stores.
Oh, okay.
Biggest in the United States, yeah.
Going Sammy's to give input and insight and still can manage operation of his business. He just needs to find someone he can trust to handle situations.
That's true.
I like what you're saying, Facebook user. Troll away. Continue trolling away. Anita says, Joe is Joe. He likes 2%. He likes his naps, Dairy Queen blizzards, and Brahms ice cream. Oh, and playing volleyball. I applaud him. I tell you guys, see what I'm saying? It doesn't. It's not.
Round of applause for you. Except I can't do blizzards and Brahms ice cream anymore, and that's really
well. He
sad.
can. He chooses not to.
I choose not to. And I haven't taken naps very often anymore either, because I guess I've taken out the blizzards and ice cream in my diet. So.
Joanne says, I love my last job. I was sad when it ended, although I didn't want it. Bottom line, I got to yell at a lot of people. I remember.
Imagine that.
She would post pictures of the places that she'd go to, and I was like, oh, snap.
Yelling.
Do you guys hear this thunder and lightning?
No.
Where I am, it is like it just lit up the room I'm in. The lightning did.
Oh.
So if I suddenly go out, this is perfect for spooky stuff, right?
Yeah, it is.
Right. Go to the next comment.
Facebook user says, my last job was in the business of killing. My hard work I did. I never thought I would actually see it in effect. Well, I go to watch what I overseen in full effect now. I go to watch what I overseen in full effect.
I get to watch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
I get to watch.
He's ex-military.
Man. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
My last job is the reason I do photography now. That's awesome. We need to ask him to come back and talk about that if he wants to talk about that.
So the thing with him too is he does film photography. See, like I do instant gratification, so I need to take the picture, see it right there. But he does the film stuff where he's not sure how it's going to be until he actually develops the film. I don't know if I could do that. Number one, I don't have the patience.
Yeah, let's let him say it when he comes on. How about
Number
that?
two, he's
Or
much
not.
better than I am. Yeah, I'm just.
Well,
saying.
you just have different skill sets. That's all.
I think that's why I do short stories. I also like instant gratification. I'm not willing to take 6 months to a year to write out a whole novel. And, it's
Well,
too
so
long.
George R.R. Martin is still writing his stuff, and we'd like for him to
Yeah.
finish one day so we can actually get a good, that'd be nice.
Different reasons, though. Joe doesn't care anything about the book. He wants
No.
to see the movie or the TV show.
They
There are
can't-
others who do want to read the book.
Let's not talk about it, because if we start talking about Game of Thrones and the final seasons, it just irks me to no end. So
I'm okay with that because I don't even know what you just said just now. Joanne says, I got a call from my mom after she passed. Caller ID came up as from mom. When I answered, it was silent. Nothing. Joanne, that happened to my mom too.
Ooh.
Not with her
That's a
mom, but with her brother.
2-sentence scary story, Joanne. Very
Ooh,
good.
there you go. Snapshot that,
Nice.
ghost lady. Snapshot that.
Right, exactly.
Dang.
That's really good.
John says, Mr. Fake Joe. Ooh,
Only on the phone.
he's brutal, man.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna skip that. We need a new EP that shows up. Yo, who's not even here tonight? You ain't got room to talk, Sandy. Oh my gosh. Bye, Joe. Oh, I guess John's leaving.
That's
Man, we're almost got up to this. Okay. He does what I used to do with 35 millimeter camera, but nothing ever came out right.
Oh yeah. When
Who's
we
she talking
actually the old school 35 millimeter cameras.
Oh, okay.
But his actually
Math is not my strong point.
Whenever we used to get them developed, like 90% of them are out of focus, where he gets a lot of his stuff in focus. And
I saw Francisco talking about that recently. Did you see his post on? Yeah, I guess Instagram people like to take photos of blurry images.
oh my goodness, yeah, it's so crazy how out of focus some of these shots are.
Yeah.
Like they purposely post the out of focus ones. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, that's
It drives
okay. That makes sense now. I didn't understand it. I thought he was saying they like to take the photos. Now I get it. He's saying that they still post it regardless.
Yeah, so the younger generation will post out of focus photos.
Yeah,
as part of their aesthetic
stories
vibe.
or whatever.
No.
Millennials. Just saying.
What's the word of the day?
Right.
Yeah. Facebook user says Amateur Photographer Magazine posted a tidbit on me and on their website. Post it in the comments, dude. Let's read that. I want to see that. Sandy says I called in with enough notice.
Obviously, because
I
we were able
mean-
to find her fill in. So if that was the case,
Wait, what? I'm gonna just
We were-
ignore it. Actually,
I mean, you were able to find a fill in.
the
I mean, I'm a
magazine.
very busy person. I wasn't
She
like
is.
scrolling through Facebook or anything.
I felt like
had
I
things-
felt like Batman to Commissioner Gordon. Like when I called Cynthia and she answered, and I was all like, "Oh, I feel like we had a red phone connection." She picked
Oh,
up. for
You need
me
a
and-
ghost light on the wall in the clouds. to
When
tell.
when it blinks up, it's Suds calling. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right,
The
right.
magazine based out of UK, but been around since 1884. Wow, that's a long time. That doesn't surprise me though. I feel like there's a lot of old school stuff from the UK that's been around. Big Ben is the only thing I can think of. Queen Elizabeth was for a while. Been around for a while. Where is Sandy? She
Well, so
is watching the
Sandy-
show.
Yeah, Sandy had a long weekend because my wife was with her this weekend. They actually had to go out of town because a loved one passed away. So they just barely got back into town last night around midnight. So
Man, you
they've
share
had a long
Sandy's
weekend.
stuff like you had her permission to share something crazy.
I didn't tell who. It
I'm
was.
just saying.
I'm gonna sit here and be
okay.
quiet.
I wish I could have done that too. 2 cents. 2 cents. Kat Johnson says, that's Gen Z, Cindy. You're millennials hustling your show over here.
Oh snap!
Oh, that's right.
Ouch.
That's right. She's
Ouch.
the advertising
Oh,
and
snap.
promoting you, and you're like talking snap about her.
What's the next generation after millennial? Or Z after Z? What do they call it? It's a
Gen
weird
Z.
one.
I don't know.
No.
I didn't know they
Look
named
for it.
one yet.
Look for it online real quick, Joe. I'm gonna get to
What
the
is
next.
it?
I'm Generation X. I don't even
After
know.
Gen Z, I don't remember what it is, but it's something weird. Facebook user says https://www.
Are you really gonna read that whole
No, I
entire
was just
thing?
playing. I was gonna see which one of y'all said this something.
It was me.
But what I can see in here is that the title on the story is called World Mental Health Day, Your Story. So now I'm like super more encouraged to read it. Facebook user, thank you.
Generation
Sandy says,
Alpha is
no, it's not. Please don't tell me it's called Alpha.
Alpha.
No.
Refers to the group of individuals born between 2013 and 2025.
Shut
This is
the
Generation
front
F,
door.
Gen Z.
Why is it called Alpha?
I don't think it's.
Why
Lame.
are y'all attacking me? Because
you
I'm
get 2%.
just-
Can you read a few more sentences in and make sure that's what it says?
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, why are we attacking
It
you?
says right
2%.
here.
We
Are
got to
you
just
guys
put
Gen
it.
X too? Are you
Yes.
guys Gen X?
Joe should be actually Gen A. He's actually the original Alpha. He's been around the longest. He and Moses were kicking rocks whenever this whole thing was happening. So Joe is.
Yes.
It's actually more.
I'm with you. I'm with you though, Cynthia. Okay, I'm Gen X also.
Yeah.
Joe's way out there. So anyway, Joanne, I had to take a personal day. Got in at midnight last night.
Yep.
Thank you, Sandy. I tried to call her these last 2 days. I'm sure I was being annoying over the last.
So I got in
weekend.
trouble last night. Speaking of, I got in trouble last night because of Eric. So Sandy, you'll have to tell Eric that I'm not very happy with him. So the flight was supposed to come in. The producer told me the flight was coming in at 11:40.
Okay.
So okay, cool. We'll leave the house around 11:25. We'll get there right at 11:40. We leave the house at 11:25, just like I wanted to. They're already landing at 11:30, and it takes like 20 minutes to get to the airport from where we live now. And so I'm like, of course, the producer messaged me, "Hey, we're landing early. Are you here yet?" I'm like, "Almost."
He's like, traffic is horrible out here.
Oh gosh.
It's so crazy. That 11:30 p.m. traffic is just crazy around here. And so I was like,
and he stopped at Whataburger.
and of course she can track my position. And she's like, "No, you're not. You just barely left." I'm like, okay.
You say that, and then I start looking at my phone. I'm
And
like,
then
can my wife
And then
track
I
mine?
was like, "But is Eric there yet?" And she goes, "Yeah, he's been here for a little while." And I'm like, "Oh."
Oh,
So it was-
ouch.
Yeah, so he was ready for them to be there. And
He's just a
I was not.
superstar, man.
He is
I have a
superstar,
question
and-
about your math though. You said that they were going to get there at 11:40, so you left at 11:25, and then you said later that it takes 20 minutes to get there.
He was going to be late anyway. Was the
I
point?
was going to be late anyway.
Go
Because
Slim.
it takes like 5 to 10 minutes to get off the plane, and then another 5 minutes to walk through we have a
This is
small.
Lubbock. This isn't like
So-
Chicago O'Hare.
So, I know.
or
that's what I'm saying,
DFW.
5 minutes. So we get, if they would have landed at 11:40, I would have been right on time. But since they landed at 11:30, I was late. And of course,
It's Eric's
of course,
the
the
assistant's fault.
assistant was there on time and was waiting happily go lucky and making me look bad. It's just like the neighbor, like the neighbor across the street that keeps their yard so well kept that
Yeah.
you can't even go a week and a half without mowing yours
Yep.
because they're like overachievers. That's exactly what Eric is. That's what
Oh
I'm
my
calling.
gosh, my yard is the bad yard in the neighborhood, and I don't even care. We grow the dandelions for the bees, so shut it.
You're an environmentalist.
There you go.
Exactly.
You're pro
Saving the earth.
environmentalist. So yes.
Keep your comments to yourself.
Because
I don't
my
even want to
friend
say that, Kat. I'm just gonna be quiet because
Jen A.
Oh
Joe
my
is
God.
Jen Moses.
Oh,
Thank you,
no.
CPJ. I appreciate
Not funny.
that.
Y'all are
Thank you.
not funny.
I think it's hilarious.
Not
Joe and I
funny.
are around the same age. I don't know. Facebook user Joe is pretty
We are around the same age.
ancient. Encarnacion,
25.
Mr. 47 Joe,
25.
47 eons. Eric doesn't want the wrath. He knows.
Yeah,
okay.
He knows that he was making me look bad.
No, he knows what happens if he doesn't get Sandy on time. Is what
Oh,
she's
right,
saying.
right.
He ain't afraid of you. He's
He
afraid of.
didn't know that they were going to land at 11:30. I didn't know that either.
He didn't need to. He just knew what time it landed. He's like, I got to give it 30 minutes before that, or an hour. He's like, I got a phone. I can watch some shows. Sheesh, we sprinted off that plane.
Yeah, they did. I was like, you're already off the plane? Flight aware is your
Flight
friend.
aware is your friend. Oh. He
I thought I was
answers.
doing good too. I was like, I set the timer. I was like, okay, we're gonna leave at this time. We're gonna be right
So,
there.
Flight Aware is that app that tells you when the planes are getting in or not, if they're running late on or whatever else. So, I wouldn't say he's overachiever, more than I would say you're just 2%er, a 2%er. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Kat says, can confirm you need to keep Flight Aware on your phone. Our yard is well manicured. Rudy makes the rest of the neighbors look bad. Rudy is that. Rudy is that neighbor, right? He is that one.
He's that neighbor. I'm just so glad now that my front yard is rocks. All
right. So let me ask you this question, and it's a topic that we know you already know where I'm at. But since Ghost Lady is here, I haven't heard hers, so we'll let her and Joe and the audience have this out. But here's the question I read recently, and it's geared towards Americans. So it says, Americans, why is tipping proportional to the bill? Is there extra work in making a $60 steak over a $20 steak at the same restaurant? Gives a very little bit story after that. It says, this is based on a single person eating at the same restaurant, not comparing Denny's to a Michelin star establishment. Why is tipping proportional to the bill?
That's how it's always been.
I think that if they have
the days of Moses,
if they have to prepare more food, maybe, then they want more tip. You know, like 3 meals versus 1 meal is going to cost more, so they have to do more.
Technically more work.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. In their scenario or in their example, they say, though, is there extra work in making a $60 steak over a $20 steak at the same restaurant?
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So there's a little bit of qualifier on there. And you guys in the comments, type what you think. We'll read them. We'll read them. Americans, why is tipping proportional to the bill?
If you come to America and it's a tipping restaurant, just tip. Come on now.
Yeah. I'm a good tipper, but I do wonder. I feel like, because I did door dashing for a while. I was a door dasher, and DoorDash pays their drivers very little, and they depend on the customers to tip enough to make it even worth doing that delivery. And I didn't like that. I felt like that was pretty crappy that DoorDash pays so little, and they just, then it puts the pressure on the client, because in DoorDash, you can decline, you can choose not to accept orders if the pay isn't high enough. You know, so if a customer doesn't tip high enough, their order is just going to keep getting tossed around and rejected. And they don't even know that. They don't know that their order is late because nobody's taking it because they didn't tip enough, because DoorDash is only paying $2 to the driver to deliver it. So I feel like some businesses use the tipping to be able to pay less.
Right.
Some places use the tipping to pay who less?
The drivers, their employees.
The delivers?
Yeah. They assume that the client is going to tip enough that they can pay less.
Gotcha.
They can make up that wage, and DoorDash gets to keep their profits and not have to worry about all of that that's involved with paying someone a good wage.
Sandy says, why the heck are we tipping for everything? Kat says, because generally a higher bill indicates having to serve more people, and the $60 steak is viewed as taking more skill to make right than the $20 steak.
Oh, that's good.
I can understand that. I don't know that I agree with it 100%, but that's okay. You don't have to. A Facebook user says, I don't tip by percentage. I tip by their service, which is more than the percentage. Reason is waiter waitress tips go into a pool. They make $2.25 an hour. Unless you're in California where you make minimum wage and your overtime starts at 8 hours in the day, not 40 hours after 40 hours at the end of the week. It's still
So he
though.
is in California, and of course, not all restaurants do a tip pool. So, but that's something that you have to know.
Okay, so let me add these two pieces in there real quick too. Okay, this week, and I couldn't take a picture of it because it was so frustrating. The app was built. I was ordering from Moe's restaurant. I love Moe's. It's good food to me. I think it's better than Chipotle. I think Chipotle is healthier for you. Anyway, was checking it out, was going online because I was going to order online. And then I noticed that the tax and stuff looked weird. And I was like, huh. So there was a little question mark there. And the way that this fee or this surcharge looked, the way it read, it didn't just say tax. It says something weird. I can't remember what it said. But anyway, I went ahead and clicked on it. And it broke it out, said, here's the tax. And then here is basically what amounted to our website fee. And I was like, what? And so then I went down the rabbit hole, right? And I started seeing this collection of restaurants that decided to start charging. When you order from an app or on their website, they've started charging a web usage fee that goes to their maintaining the ability to do business online. And
I see that.
I won't say what I felt,
like it.
but okay. And so I'm just giving that to you also. In this idea, in this realm of conversation of tipping. And I know we've talked about tipping in the past, but I found these two pieces to just be like so.
I ordered pizza the other day and noticed that the delivery fee, not the tip to the driver, but the delivery fee was $5.
Guess what about the delivery fee? The delivery fee doesn't go to the driver.
I know.
Isn't that ridiculous too?
What's the $5 for? I paid for your pizza. Like what?
And their car is the one being used.
Yeah.
At one point in the past, delivery fees were going to drivers at some pizza chains. But now I do believe that the standard is no delivery fees go to any of the drivers at any pizza chain.
Well, I will tell you that the very popular restaurant chain here in Lubbock has started charging an establishment fee, and it made the news, and people were a little upset about it. So
establishment.
But I get the establishment fee. I actually support it only if you tell me beforehand. It's when you try to slide in these fees. Like I get the establishment fee for the current times that we live in.
Again, nobody knew about it until you look at the receipt or whatever.
And so on that leg, that pisses me off because you shouldn't try to slide stuff in. That's like this web usage fee. I didn't realize you shouldn't, as a business, you shouldn't be sliding that crap into people's bills. You should be upfront about that so that I'm aware of what I'm buying. Because when I see that, I get set off. I don't know about y'all, but I get set off.
Yeah, and the other part,
I'm going to read comments after you.
No, what I'm saying is like what's crazy is like I order from an app, and if I get it delivered, the menu prices are higher. Then there's a delivery fee, and then you still have to tip. So
DoorDash does that too.
So I'm just like, yeah, because DoorDash takes anywhere from 15 to 30% of that ticket from the restaurant. So,
but they pay the driver $2.
They pay the driver $2. They take their 30% from that order, and then the restaurant has to up their prices. So
the amount will go up a little bit if you are farther away, but not by much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh yeah. And I've seen that. I've seen some of the websites like Aldi did the same thing. They were like, yo, so the prices on the website are higher than they are if you were going to the store and purchase your groceries. And I was like, what? Right. And you're going to charge me that web fee again also. So I was like, man. All right. So Joanne says, doesn't matter what the cost of the meal. Doesn't matter what the cost of the meal. It's all about service that the wait staff gives. Okay. CPJ says, my 2-cent opinion, it is easier to pay out percentages, taxes, and plan for what to expect, etc., on a consistent scale than what the heck scale. So that's why I assume it is a standard.
Okay. Yeah, so it used to be, back in the day, it used to be 10, 12, and 15% that you would see as the gratuities. And now it's like it starts at 15, 18,
I
20.
so up here, I can't remember the last time I saw 15, and I'm starting to see the transition from 18 to be 20,
22, 18
20,
to 20,
22,
22.
20, or 20, 25,
Yeah.
and 30% is what I'm seeing nowadays.
Yeah.
Sandy says, why do those dang point of sale machines have a tip line?
Because we program what they tell us to program.
Okay, Mr. Pie Man. Facebook user says, wow, when you order from an app here, food is about 10% less and picking. Oh, wait, what? Food is about 10% less and picking up than going
then
in
picking up. Then picking up.
Oh, okay.
So it's cheaper if
Oh,
you order and then pick it up.
yeah.
than going in and
You're right. Yep. I just ate at Moe's. Wasn't as good. Your mileage may vary, I guess, kind of thing. What the heck is an establishment fee?
That's
You
a
want
good
to take this?
question. I don't know what it is either.
So the establishment fee is a newer fee that was based since the beginning of the new world, and it was built because restaurants, service industries had to provide more safer equipment for us. So a lot of PPE and extra napkins and extra takeout things had to be ordered for restaurants so that they could just do business. So that came with an increased cost, which is what the establishment fee is now. It helps it supposedly helps restaurants cover the cost of the extra paper goods that their restaurant has to buy in order to continue doing business during this new world. Now, I would like to think that that is going to go away once, we're a little bit more normal nationwide, worldwide. We'll see.
Yeah. Listen, I have a dream of having a True Hauntings app someday. I even have plans of what I want it to do and everything. And when I do, I'm going to totally have a spooky fee. It's going to be $1.99 spooky fee for the True Hauntings app.
The comic book shows that I watch on the selling platform. So they've been creative recently, and they'll put in like someone said, I've got an underwear jar or a tequila shot. You give them $5 to put in the underwear jar or the tequila, and the underwear jar is not what you think it is. It's guys just being nasty on the show, like dirty, not nasty,
Okay.
not naughty. Okay. Just being gross. There you go. They're just being gross. And so, but you see it every show. Everyone has something like that. And so they'll have a big bottle of tequila on there, and by the end of the show, the whole bottle's gone because you've been buying them shots while they're selling their product to you. So anyway,
I could not do that.
Now, what I'm saying is you could have a spooky fee that people would pay you.
Oh, okay.
It's the same. So spooky fee, buying them a drink, whatever. It's all the same.
Yeah. I'll just yell boo into the mic every time they give me $2.
Exactly.
I like that. Joy says, now, if you use your debit card, you get charged 1% for what the bank charges the establishment to pay.
Yeah.
So what she's talking about there is when you use your card, you have the option these days to use credit and debit. Back in the days, we didn't have that, but there was a deal struck between the credit card industry and who was it, Joe? Walmart? I think it was Walmart who started it, right? It was Walmart.
Yeah, because they were getting charged like huge amounts, and they're like, hey, what the crap?
Right. It should be the same because one
big card
money is
it's
in
crazy
the bank.
Because Visa, MasterCard,
American Express,
and Discover, they get paid no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. And so, and every time, even if you do a refund, the establishment gets charged again. So every time that you cross that gateway, the establishment gets charged. And then they will charge more. So when you get like free points on for airplane stuff, somebody's got to pay for that. You know who pays for that? The establishment pays for that. So they get charged higher fees. So it's just kind of crazy how the whole credit card industry is a racket. So
I'm not going to say anything because I can go on more. I'm going to get through these comments fast because we got to wrap up. Sandy says convenience is costly. CPJ says in my world, it drives me crazy seeing boutique and stores making profits on shipping. I don't even want to touch that, but you are absolutely right. I ship daily.
Well,
I know what it is. I will never do business with people
eBay
profiting that way. In my opinion, that is theft. It's something, all right. Kat, the first time you try to sneak fees into my check, that'll be the last time I'll voluntarily come into your establishment. Stop acting like the cable company and start worrying about customer retention. Kat, I would challenge you to make sure you're looking at your receipts because some establishments slipping that in. So they're very, I'm not saying you're not doing it though. That's not what I'm saying. Everyone, not just Kat, everyone, check your checks. Facebook user. When I was in the military, there was a guy who took a penny out of your pay every 15 and 1.
So the military gets paid on the 15th and the 1st.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thanks. I asked my NCO when I was a private, what is the 1 cent for? Later, I found out it was a soldier from DFAS that allotted a penny from every soldier check to his bank account.
Oh my goodness.
Holy!
He was taking pieces of pennies.
We've seen this before.
It's called Office
Nice.
Space.
Yeah. Yes, Sandy. Exactly. No, my man.
I'll burn it down.
Joanne, just cook. We are already paying up the wazoo for food cheaper to eat at home, but you do more than 2%, Joe. That was a 3-sentence horror story right there for me. I'm just saying, okay. But she's right. Eat at home. It costs less, but my kids make me mad when they don't do the dishes. Facebook user, it's cheaper for me to eat out than cooking at home. Gas has skyrocketed to $6.39 from $6.39 to $7.59. Food prices are so I'm sorry, I can't even.
He lives in California.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Holy jeez. Food prices are so out of control. Pack of chicken.
It's $32. Beef is $40 a pound, and fish is $15 to $20 a pound. Wow.
How can anyone afford to live in California?
I know. I just had someone.
Do they pay that much more?
What in the world? Are you serious?
Crazy. All right, y'all. Yeah, don't go to California. They tax at the butt.
Oh my gosh, everyone. Okay.
Man,
well, we hope
time flies when we're having fun.
It does. It does. I'm sorry. That last one really just kind of threw me. I'm like, $32 for a pack of chicken. I can't feed my family. How am I supposed to? I don't. Anyway. Hey, guys. Ghost Lady, thank you for hanging out with us. We are going to make sure to post some of her stuff up. Let me just say this real quick. Joe, I know you got to go, so if you got to go bounce out, that's fine. But real quick, everyone, Ghost Lady has her own show over at True Hauntings. There's a Facebook page. There's a podcast. I'm going to put all the links up in the chat so that you can click on it and get to it. I should have done it earlier. Check out her Etsy store. Check out her Etsy store because she actually has some cool products in there that she started selling some months ago, where every month she ships. Why don't you explain it, Ghost Lady? I'm sorry. You do it because you'll do a better job than I will.
I just make mystery boxes, and every month has a different theme. So September's theme was ghost hunting. So there are little nifty tools in there to help you ghost hunt. And then October's theme is divination. So speaking with the dead. So September's box will help you find the ghosts, and then October's box will help you talk to them. But every month has a different theme, and there are mystery boxes, and they're all on my Etsy shop. Yeah.
Right. So, you know what? I hate when Facebook does that. Facebook likes to give you their link. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just the straight link that takes
my
you
shop
there
is called True Hauntings Shop. No spaces, just True Hauntings Shop.
Okay. So, Etsy.com shop. Keep talking. Tell them what else they can find on there.
Let's see. In the shop, I also have moon water that I charged under that blood moon eclipse thing that was in May, and it has never been in sunlight. So supposedly that means it's extra charged. So there's that. And then I also have beach sand and beach water that I got from St. Augustine, my hometown, St. Augustine, Florida. And that is little vials of that are on sale there too. I have little zines that I create, which are super cute.
What are zines?
Little tiny books.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in the, I wasn't looking. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't see. I was typing out your stuff over here. So.
So yeah, I just have little fun things like that in there. And then my Patreon, of course, if you join that, that's just called True Hauntings on Patreon. And I do bonus episodes, and there's exclusive stories you can get off there. And you can sign up to get the mystery boxes automatically every month. That kind of stuff.
Okay. Wasn't trying to cut you off. I got all the stuff loaded in there. So I have your Patreon, I have your Etsy store, I have your Bonfire, which I guess is where you get
It's a
your
merchandise shop. Yeah.
Okay. And then I also have the blog so that everyone can go, when you get a chance, go check out some of our stories. It's October, so it's all
Right?
spookiness stuff, and we've all got to be in there getting our spooky fill in for the month. Okay.
Yes. Go do it.
Let me see. I just saw a house that was. Oh, everyone's having talks about a $1.5 million home there. John's going to come back to Texas. Yeah. So anyway, but lots of craziness there. So guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Joe had to go. He was in a rush, and we needed to end. Not needed to end. We needed to let him get out of here fast. So, Cynthia, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It was a pleasure having you on. I'm
Thank
glad
you so
you
much for
were
inviting
able
me.
to fill in. Thank
I will
you.
always come on when I can.
Awesome.
It's fun.
I appreciate knowing that. And Sandy, get some rest. We'll see you here next week. Sandy, if you're going to do anything on your side, let everyone know so they can go see you tomorrow. Otherwise, everyone have a great week, and we will see you back here next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yep. Spooky
Love you
later.
all. I'm taking forever to find. Here we go.